Hey everybody, today I'm going to be showing you how I work with and maintain my Guppy strains. It's something I really enjoy doing and figured you guys might like to see the thought process and how I select my breeders and all that stuff. These are the Platinum Dumbo Ear Red Mosaic Guppies. These are the first strains that I ever worked with. I've had these for the longest, so I've been working with them for probably 2 years now. These are two 20 gallons that are filled with Jungle Val and Eco Complete substrate. You can see the side here. You get that side view, you can see it just goes all the way back. So it's an endless forest of Jungle Val there. And I have two tanks because, you know, they're one of my favorites, and I find it with this strain it's easier to work with. So usually I have one tank with my breeders in it, the other tank with the grow outs and ones for sale. So we can see here, got some nice looking males in this group. I'm going to be selecting my breeders. I select both the males and females in this strain. You can see the females have nice big blue tails. I like that, but I can't tell if it's because I've been working with them for so long that I want something a little different in the females. There's one female in here that I'll find and show you guys that I really liked what came out. I'll probably work with that in the future. And we'll be pulling out of this tank some males that don't make the cut for me to sell online. Here's that special female I was talking about. She's moving around really quick. She doesn't like being in the net, so it's hard to see. But if you notice, this female has like a rainbow tail to her instead of just a solid blue. And another feature that I really like is that her pectoral fins actually have a little dark to them, like a black. So if I could breed into this line some dark pectoral fins, that'd be really great. And also I really like the rainbow. It looks better in real life. On camera it's not really picking it up. But that could, you know, maybe this will intensify as she gets older. You could see the adult females in the back with the nice blue in them. So I might give this female a separate tank with one of my best males, or I might just keep her in with my breeding stock that I'm going to select today. Here's an example of a male that has all the traits I'm looking for in this strain. He's obviously got the nice big Dumbo ears compared to the size of his body. And this is still a young male. His body's not fully grown yet, and his ears are already that big. He's got the nice tail pattern that I'm looking for with the red mosaic. And my favorite part of the fish is the blue or platinum colored body. You can see his body has just a solid platinum color. Sometimes you'll get a little bit of a different color in the body, which is fine, you know, for most of the fish. But you know, for a breeder stock, I'm looking for just a solid platinum, and I'm looking to pass those genes along. Another view that's important to look at this strain is the top-down view, and that's just to make sure the Dumbo ears are symmetrical and the pattern still looks nice from the top-down view of this fish. Here's an example of a male that's not what I'm looking for, and one that I wouldn't sell. So you can see obviously the major difference is that red in the body. It's pretty, but not what I'm looking for in this strain. But also a minor detail that I knew from the beginning this wasn't going to be a good male. If you look at his pectoral fins, right where his pectoral fin meets the body, he has just a little bit of no color there. So the pectoral fins aren't fully black. So that's something I get sometimes that is just not what I'm looking for, and I put him in my misfit tank, which I'll show you in a second. And here's an example of a male that I'll get occasionally, just one with no color on the fins at all, the Dumbo pectoral fins, and a little bit off color. And something I want to talk about is fish breeding true. For a fish to breed true, I forget what the IFGA states it is, it's either 90 or 95% have to be like the parents. So getting one of these randomly out of, you know, both these tanks, if I've sold probably 200 to 300 pairs or trios at this point, and I get a couple of these, that's all right with me. You know, any fish is going to throw some variety, some random variety. A lot of times I get people who message me and ask, does this strain breed true? And I'll respond with, you know, it breeds 90 to 95% true, and they get very upset about that. I'm not sure why. That's how we get any variety of fish. You know, any guppy that was ever, any new strain that was ever made came from a different strain that threw a random variety. So this guy happens to be not so good looking, but there's a potential for this strain to throw some weird variety, like that female that I'll be keeping that has a different color. So like all strains of guppies will throw a random one once in a while. It's your job as a hobbyist, if you want to keep the strain pure and work with it, to pull those males out before they breed, or females sometimes will be random. You can see this male's kind of ratty, and he's probably got his fins nipped at. I'm actually probably 5 or 6 generations into this strain at this point, and I believe this male is from the 2nd generation. So you can see he's fully grown. His ears, even though they've been nipped at a little bit, are still really big. So he has the genetics of a really good fish. He's approaching that 1.5, 2-year-old mark, which is kind of the end stage life of a guppy. They don't live that long, unfortunately. So I'm not sure if I'm going to put this with my breeding stock. He really does have good genetics. His sons and grandsons have been really good, and he does have that platinum color. But he might just go into a retirement tank. He's been a really good male. Like I said, I have him for like almost 2 years at this point. You can see this whale of a female that was also from the same generation as that ratty male. 2nd generation. She has a big, beautiful blue tail that instantly, as soon as I caught her, started to wash out, which is unfortunate. But you can kind of see in the background some of the females with a nice blue tail. She's starting to get that bent spine. You know, that comes with the age. She's approaching that age as well. You can see that female too. It's from the same generation. You can see the blue on the fins. You know, as they're getting that 2-year mark, they're starting to age out, which is why I always select for new breeders. But these females in this strain get huge. She's not this big because she's 2 years old. The females have the potential to get really large if you feed them right and water change them in this strain, which I really like. The only problem that comes with that is they like to eat their fry, so that's why I have the sea of jungle val. Here's my misfit tank of random males from different strains that didn't make the cut. You can see we've got the Dumbo ear right there without the black pectoral fins. We've got some that I just didn't like, the Dumbo ear having the space, the no color right by the body, that guy right there. Sometimes, once in a while, I'll pick a male that I don't think looks right, throw him in here, and then you know, a month or 2 later, they actually turn out to be a really good male. There's one in here that I'm keeping my eye on. Let's see. That guy back there has some potential to be a good male. You can see I've got the bluegrass, big dorsal strain, these guys right here, that throw some red. So I pull those males out that throw some red. And some other random strains in here, some random angelfish that I need to cull, but I don't enjoy it, so I kind of put it off and let them live in the misfit tank for a little bit, like this guy right here. We can see the bluegrass strain here. Obviously, like that male is what we're looking for. That's a young male. Let's see where the main male is. There's my original breeder right there. And he looks really good, but this strain does throw red. I'll be doing this one next. You can see that this one right here has some red coming in, so I'm going to pull him out right away. And one that I thought looked good, but turned out to be not a good male right here, has a tiny bit of red in the body, even though he's mostly blue, so I'll be taking him out as well. This strain, compared to the Dumbo ear strain, takes a little bit more work, but when you do get the right colors, the male is just amazing. Here are the males I went with my breeding stock. They all have the nice big Dumbo ears. And I think some of them have potential to have even bigger ears now. You can see they're all squirming around if I was trying to point one out. But the ones with the smaller body I think has the most potential because that one's not fully grown yet. This strain, the males will grow the fins the older they get. I've had some that have really small pectoral fins at full body size, and then over time they do grow the fins out. But these guys have been showing it at a young age, so I think that's good for the strain long term. And one of them in there has some nipped fins, but that's not genetic, so it's fine for breeding. See that guy right up front. Again, another issue when you have big females and a lot of fish in there. Here's a closer look at all the breeders before we put them in the tank. You can see I picked, mostly what I had was females with nice blue tails, but there's actually 2 or 3 in here that are starting to have the rainbow tail, the females. You can see this one right up front here, that one right there. It's got a little bit of rainbow in the tail. This one also, and you can see the black pectoral fins right there. So I'm happy to see multiple ones with that trait, and hopefully that starts getting passed along. We have all the newly selected breeders on the right tank, and all the ones growing out and are for sale on the left. You can see that the females are more comfortable now, so they're showing better color in the tail. So I could show what I was talking about. That female right there is my favorite. Kind of greenish in the tail. Some other colors, kind of looks like a rainbow, and she's got the nice pectoral fins starting to develop. Some color on those. It'd be ideal if I had all these females to eventually have black pectoral fins. You can see this one has some color on the pectoral fins too. I was choosing for that as well. I like the full blue tail, but I also like some other colors in there too. So we'll see where this strain goes in the next couple months. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. That's probably one of my favorite things to do in this hobby, is just to work with the strain and select new breeders and start new traits if possible. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.